I help brokers with government audits, and actually a lot of trust fund handling audits, which I'm buried in them right now, and they're very, very stressful. I knew the ropes when it came to real estate and escrow, so I sort of quickly climbed the ranks there, and I was given more high-profile cases. I told my husband, I think I'm gonna maybe do some independent consulting, and that sort of started it. And then from there, I've been doing it for 9 years.
What happens when you walk away from security to chase impact? Summer Goralik did just that, leaving behind stability to carve out her own lane in consulting. With integrity as her compass, she built a practice that thrives on trust, credibility, and bold decision-making.
I just started writing articles, and literally the very first article I wrote, it's my most read article to date. And from there, I just continued to write, and I've had a lot of speaking opportunities, so I get a lot of referral business from them too. I'm very honest in everything I'm doing writing-wise, so I feel like being honest kind of draws people in. Don't wait for the 11th hour. Treat it as a priority day one of opening your brokerage, and don't neglect it.
Summer, thank you so much for being here on the podcast. I've been so looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, let's kick it off by, if you could share with our listeners what it is that you do. Like, let's give your elevator pitch of what you do in the real estate industry.
Okay. I help real estate brokers and agents understand and comply with the real estate law as it's enforced by the California Department of Real Estate.
All right.
Super exciting stuff.
Super exciting stuff. All right. I think that was an awesome elevator pitch, by the way. So that the marketer in me gives you like a 10 out of 10 for that elevator pitch. Even like the marketing people that I talk to, like, don't have as a concise elevator pitch as that. So well done.
Okay, thanks. I'll take it.
So tell us a little bit more. Like, let's dig into that a little bit more.
So I help brokers with government audits, and I do this a lot. And actually a lot of trust fund handling audits, which I'm buried in them right now, and they're very, very stressful. But, because I used to work at the California Department of Real Estate, I basically have that insider knowledge, right? So I take my clients, whether it's proactively in a mock audit, or the real thing. I take them through the process and help guide them. I'm like the babysitter behind the scenes that is helping them. And then if there's time, help, review the records, identify issues so that we can potentially correct them before the real DRE test. So that's one area.
Okay.
I help with advertising compliance and brokers' policies and procedures. So everything that the DRE is looking at and a broker is measured to be, above bar on, I help them comply.
Got it. So are you then a consultant? You're sort of like your own business?
Consultant. I'm a consultant. Yes, I have my own business, a company of one.
Yeah. All right. So company of one. So if I own a brokerage and I have an upcoming DRE audit and I am wanting to ensure that I'm going to pass that audit, you would be somebody I would reach out to and say, come in, give my company an overview, make sure that I am in tip-top shape, that I'm going to pass my audit, flying colors.
Exactly. And also just investigations. It doesn't have to be an audit. Brokers are getting letters all the time from the DRE where files are being requested. There's questions asked. Agent did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I help with that too. And those are all like the real DRE, kind of moments. But hopefully people look at compliance in a proactive way and we can kind of prepare for those types of, regulatory examinations.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, super glamorous.
Oh yeah. Yes. I got the paparazzi following me. It's so exciting. Yeah.
That's super awesome. So what led you down kind of this path to being kind of, entrepreneur of one?
Yeah.
How did that path go?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. I worked in escrow for 5 years, which was absolutely horrid. It's such a hard profession. I don't think escrow people get enough credit.
Mm-hmm.
It's demanding. And then it literally drove me crazy to the point where I ran away and started working for the government. So that's something, making nothing, right? But, learning investigation. But I came in with like real estate and escrow expertise. So I sort of had a leg up while I didn't have investigation experience. I knew the ropes when it came to real estate and escrow. So I sort of quickly climbed the ranks there, and I was given more high profile cases. And then I actually left DRE after 6 years, and I worked as a civilian economic crimes investigator for the Orange County District Attorney's Office. So I went from, handing, brokers paper fines, if you will, to actually being able to assist with criminal prosecution. So that was kind of wild. And then someone followed me home while I was working. I'm a chicken. It's funny. I feel like I was the agency expert at the DA's office. I was like the Aaron Brockovich, if you will.
Yeah.
But, didn't have a gun on my hip, right? And one day I followed home and it really freaked me out. I was pregnant. And so I secretly knew I was going to leave and I was going to raise my son. And then, I was like, I got to do something. So a year later, I told my husband, you know what? I think I'm going to maybe do some independent consulting. And he's like, oh, no one's going to pay for compliance. I'm like, I don't know. Let's just test the waters. And so my first client, I reached out to a broker who I'd investigated at the DRE because we kind of connected and they said, hey, if you ever go private, give me a call. Well, I gave her a call. She's like my friend today. I mean, she's fantastic. But that sort of started it. And then from there, I just got more and more business, referrals, and been doing it for 9 years. I can't believe it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. So I love that entrepreneurial journey, right? Of taking that leap that it started with like one call, one client. Yeah. So then is it mostly referral business? Like, is that how you've built your business?
I think in some ways, yes, but I actually, and I am not you, Wendy. You are the marketing expert. I am not. I created my website and I did a lot of research. I'm like, okay, so to drum up business, I need to be providing value through my site. And I just started writing articles. And literally the very first article I wrote, what's up with DRE audits or the 411 on DRE audits, was never published by anybody. Mm-hmm. It's self-published, and it's my most read article to date. It has the most hits. And from there, I just continued to write, and I've had a lot of speaking opportunities. And so I just built it up, and I'm trying to tap all those, different areas. And I also worked with a lot of attorneys, so I get a lot of referral business from them too.
Yeah. And you say you're not a marketer, but you are a marketer.
I'm a pretend marketer.
You're a total marketer. So you've tapped into content marketing.
Yeah.
And you've tapped into really delivering value.
Yeah. I'm not like, some people say, don't give away so much in your articles. And it's like, I'm not really, but I am trying to help. Like, I want someone to read the article and be like, okay, yes, this is what I can do. And if they need further help on that, they'll likely call me.
Yes.
So I do like to give.
Yeah. You do a great job. You also give a lot of value on LinkedIn because you publish on your website, but you also publish a lot on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Is your LinkedIn strategy a very conscious strategy as well? You look
stressed. 7 a.m. coffee experience. Well, I was about that. Juggling my son and making breakfast and feeding the lizards. So I built up many followers on LinkedIn. I mean, many, but way more than my Instagram, which is sad. You don't look at that, Wendy, whatever you do. I might not even been here if you looked at my Instagram. So I just, again, like I'm trying to put together kind of compelling posts that bring people in or think about something. And honestly, I feel like I'm sort of free now. I'm very honest in everything I'm doing writing wise. So if I think a thought, maybe someone would say, don't be so honest, but I feel like people kind of appreciate that. It's my natural personality. Whether you've known me 10 seconds or 10 years, I'm probably going to reveal the same story.
Yeah.
Love me or hate me for that. But I feel like being honest kind of draws people in.
Yeah. I always encourage people, be yourself and be honest. Like, be that, be who you are, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what makes you special. That's that.
Not everyone will appreciate you, but you don't need everyone.
You don't. You want the people that do. Yes. So that like niche branding and that finding that like area of specialization, like you have so done that in like such a powerful way that is just so like very unique. When you think of like real estate agents, so going to sort of our industry, we often give that advice to real estate agents is don't try to be everything to everyone.
Right.
Find like that client specialty, find that property specialty.
Yes.
Having done that kind of in your area, what advice would you give to others who are looking to kind of find that niche for themselves?
I mean, and you're just talking about anybody. It doesn't have to be a real estate agent. I mean, you're most comfortable when you're talking about something that you know.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I know when I'm asked a question that I have no idea. I mean, you immediately, you close up. You have nothing to provide. But when you know things and you have an area of expertise, you need to tap that, just all angles of it. And I really do think that, I mean, for me, I mean, that's sort of what I've done. I pull things out of the law book. Like, who wants to read a law book? I've read it. It's horrific, right? But like, pull the things out and, make it friendly. Provide honesty, make it friendly, educate, and, you can teach. And I feel like teaching someone something might keep them drawn in longer. So that's from a non-marketing person telling you that. So
no, I think that teaching is great advice. Absolutely.
Because people want things, right? Yeah. Otherwise, they're just clicking to the next channel.
Yes. So you're 9 years in to your own business.
Wow.
How do you look at entrepreneurship differently 9 years later?
I think anyone who's dedicated and committed and, smart and, just again, like riding their wave, whatever that is, I think it's possible. And there's, one example that kind of comes to mind is I talk to a lot of broker associates. So those are brokers that are hanging their hat with, other brokers. And it's like they're on the edge. Like, should I start my own brokerage? I don't want the responsibility, but I know my stuff. And sometimes I know more than my supervisor.
Right.
It's like they need to go for it, right? I mean, sometimes you just have to step out of your comfort zone and do it. And I think 9 years ago when my husband's like, we will officially be poor if you become a compliance consultant. I love the fact that I proved him wrong and that, people do care.
I'm sure this is an interesting conversation.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of shades, right? I mean, I'm talking about it in a friendly way right now, but it's gotten ugly. But no, I love the fact that I can prove him wrong. And, he said over the years, he's like, yeah, you really did something here. You did something for yourself.
Yeah.
But, any area could be something really, right? Is it boring as compliance is? It's something like, in my opinion, a brokerage can't really have true success without regulatory compliance. Like, it's an asset. And so, I just play on that.
Well, I love that entrepreneurial belief, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's important.
First and foremost, you've got to have that belief in yourself. And it sounds like you had that from the very beginning.
I did. Yeah. I mean,
where do you think that comes from?
Even though I was breastfeeding, I mean, I was probably seriously hormonal. Like, it's probably why I was thinking I was crazy. Rightfully so. But I just felt like there was something there and I could do it. Like I had the wherewithal to do it.
You saw an opportunity and you jumped for it.
Right. Exactly.
That's amazing. So compliance is a hot topic right now. So we would probably be remiss if we had a conversation and we didn't touch on the fact that compliance is like a boiling hot topic.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
It's
trending.
It's trending, yes. What do you think that brokers and agents should be thinking about in regards to compliance right now?
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, it's probably something I would have said on day one of starting my own business. Like, you can't take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
You can't assume that whatever you have going on autopilot is working. Mm-hmm. So I always say, I mean, I tell people, sometimes I work with smaller brokers who can't really afford to pay me or, they don't have a lot of money budgeted. It's like, you can do this yourself. Like, start there, look at everything. Look at, your controls, who you're delegating responsibility to, how are you tracking agents' activities? How are you tracking their license expiration? There's a lot of agents with their license expired running around and they're still getting paid. DRE goes after that. Don't take anything for granted. Test your transaction compliance. Like, who's looking at those files, right? And then are they looking at those files correctly? Like I always say, even the biggest companies, the broker of record has to be somewhat involved. Mm-hmm. Because one question the Department of Real Estate will ask you time and time again is, and if you're the broker of record, hey, do you review transaction files, right? And if you say, no, I have other people doing that, and then they find things that are wrong, mm-hmm. like, that's not going to fare well for you.
Right.
So
you're still going to be responsible.
You're still going to be responsible at the end of the day. So yes, like, compliance is very important today. There's a lot of scrutiny. We have private attorneys that are looking for, payouts, right? And there's so many areas that are being scrutinized for real estate. But it's really the same as it always has been. I just think people are recognizing now that they got to be more prepared.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If you could wave a summer magic wand and change one thing about how our industry handles risk management and compliance, what would you change?
Don't wait for the 11th hour to be concerned about it. I mean, so many brokers will come to me the night, but some people that maybe weren't going to hire anyone, and they're like, oh, well, maybe I should hire someone.
Right.
And then they call me 2 days before, and then I'm, revealing all the stuff. And
2 days before the audit.
Right. For the audit, it's oh man, they should have thought about this a long time ago. So it has to be a top priority. I know it's not as, fancy as branding and all the fun stuff that goes on. But listen, DRE doesn't care about your branding. They could care less. Actually, they're looking for you.
They do care about your advertising, though.
Yeah, no. So you have to don't wait for the 11th hour. Treat it as a priority day one of opening your brokerage, and don't neglect it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could just wave that magic wand for pretty much everything in business, that would be amazing, by the way. Because I think that it's pretty much a characteristic of our business that we wait for the 11th hour for most things.
Yes. And then you look, then you're sad.
Then you're sad.
You're sad because, you got a citation and fine, or, maybe something worse.
Yeah. Yep. I think that happens. What's next for you? Are you working on any big projects, anything that we should be keeping an eye out for?
Oh, wow. No. Well, no, I mean, it's just really the same old thing for me. I mean, I juggle a lot kind of, because I have so much consulting work. And I've said this to many people now, that when I write articles, which I love writing articles, it is a joy for me. I love it. I have to hide that from my husband because I'm not allowed to say I'm stressed with all of my compliance work if I'm
writing an article.
So I have to keep it a secret from him. But I love writing. I got my, it's pro bono. I'm not getting paid for that, but I love doing it. And a lot of people reach out based on my writing. So it's very fulfilling. And then expert witness work is probably the most intense area of work that I'm engaged in. So I'm doing all the things, a lot of speaking opportunities. This is my first time at Inman Connect.
Year 10 is coming up for the business. Is there a book to commemorate a decade in the business?
That's very interesting. And my dad keeps saying I should write a book. And I was like, well, you know what? If I could tell all my government stories, which I have many wild stories. I mean, some are outrageous. I probably would. I think people might be interested in some of that, but probably need to consult an attorney before I...
Probably. Well, you probably know a few.
Yeah, I did. I know plenty.
That's awesome. Well, I hope there is a book in the future. I think that would be a wonderful read, and I think that we would all enjoy that. So, final question for you. What do you think your personal X factor is?
I have to say honesty, and it's very unfiltered. It's not polished all the time, but that's what makes it honest, right? So I think I said it earlier, more and more I'm incorporating personal stories in my writing, and it really feels good. I'm just going to say it. And yesterday at Inman Connect, being on the panel, I did not hold back at all. And I would say that's my X factor, because so many people came up to me afterwards and they're like, I really appreciate the fact that you just said it. And I'm a broker, but I don't practice, nor will I ever. And I feel like I don't really have a dog in the fight with the whole private listing debate. And I'm just saying what I think and what I believe based on my experience. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That is an X factor. And I love your voice in the industry and your leadership in the industry. So thank you for sharing that voice and keep sharing those opinions loudly for all of us. We appreciate it.
I will do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, I appreciate it.